Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu akbar, Wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Al-Hikmat TV. My name is Naima Khan Ghani and I'll be your host for today's segment of Who's Who in America and the Community. This program brings to you individuals who have dedicated and committed their lives to serving Allah. They come from a wide cross-section of the community, which includes the local, national and international levels. We hope that their story will serve an inspiration to you to get involved. Today, my guests are two very special people, Sister Nia Jackson, who is the director of the Islamic school in Masjid Al-Ansar, Sister Clara Mohammed School, and Sister Lillian Brown Muhammad, the assistant director. Welcome to the program, ladies. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
It certainly is a pleasure to have both of you, because as I understand, you're a mother-daughter tag team.
Yes. Yes.
That is very special indeed. Sister Nia, let me start with you. How long have you been in the profession of education?
I've been in the profession about 11 years. No, actually at Clara Mohammed School, since I started there.
As a student or teacher?
As a teacher.
Okay.
A couple of my sisters, went to school there. So, but I was a little bit older, so I didn't really get a chance to go to school there. But I worked there with my mom constantly, every day, volunteering all day, every day from morning to night, Saturdays and Sundays. And then when I had my own children, I wanted them to go to an Islamic school, so they were going there. And how I came in, a brother was talking one day, "What do you do, Sister Nia?" It's like I wasn't really doing anything. I was just going to school, and I started working there and in the preschool. So I got my degree in education in preschool. And so that's where I started, and I've been there ever since, and now I'm the director. This is my third year.
MashaAllah. So you sort of grew up there and then sort of blossomed as you went along.
Went along, yes.
Very good, MashaAllah. And you stated you started as a volunteer.
Yes.
And that's interesting because a lot of people in our community, that's how their professions actually sort of bloomed as a volunteer. They're starting off volunteering, and the next thing you know, they're running the place.
Yes.
Very good, MashaAllah. Quite impressive. Sister Lillian, I know you've been in there for a long time. Tell us a little bit about your background in terms of Sister Clara Mohammed School.
I've been in the community for close to 30 years. I actually was a stay-at-home mom, and I had my youngest daughter, and they needed someone. One day a sister approached me and asked me, what was I doing? Was I busy? So I told her no, and I started working. She asked me would I come and work for the school. I started in the preschool also. And from there it motivated me working in the Muslim school, and it motivated me to go back to school and attain my degree in early childhood. So that's how I came to work at Sister Clara Mohammed School.
So you both share the same age group.
Yes.
Your specialties in the same age group, mashallah. How does it make you feel working with your daughter?
Oh, it has its ups and downs. But it's very rewarding. First of all, it's very rewarding to work in an Islamic environment, to be able to nurture children in an Islamic environment and share what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shared with you, to be able to share it with other young children. They're very sensitive at that age, and you're very able to be in positive motivation for the children being young. And they're like little clay. You can mold their minds
into anything, yes. And that's the beauty about that age group, and I'm sure maybe that's one of the reasons why you chose to specialize in that age, that category. They're so like sponges, and just absorb everything that you give them, and you want to give them the right thing. Now, Nia, tell us a little bit about your involvement in the community. In terms, I know you have a big job being the director of that school, and there are many obstacles along the way, as goes with any job. And share with us some of these obstacles and how you've been able to overcome them in your community.
Well, we have, some obstacles. A lot of times you find that you get children, I guess, in the area that we're in. You get a lot of children who come from disadvantaged backgrounds. So sometimes you have to really give them that care and that nurturing, because they really don't get it at home. Sometimes they might come to school hungry, and we have to say, okay, we don't really have it here, but we make a way to make it work. We give them breakfast. We give them food. We feed them. They might not have clothes or shoes, and we find a way to make it work. So, that's how we kind of give back to the community, as a school, being right there in the heart of just, area that's kind of impoverished. So.
Right, because you're in the middle of there, and maybe, just tell our viewers exactly where you're located, so maybe they can understand what it is you're talking about in terms of
the
location.
area we are in, location is Liberty City, and it's 7th Avenue and 52nd Street. So if you know Miami, it's like kind of like a, I don't want to say like just worse areas, but it's not.
It's very
inner
challenging.
city. It's very challenging to be there. So, the children that are in the area, that they go through a lot because of where they are. So, and we get a lot of kids from around around the area. Their parents are looking for a better environment for their children, and as being there, we try to offer that to them. So.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because you're telling me that you're not only educating them, giving them an academic education, but also feeding them, nurturing them, taking care of them as a whole individual, which is what really education is all about.
It's more like a home.
Right?
To them, it's more like a home. They come
away
to school,
from home.
They don't want to leave. Like they're there. Parents drop them off at 7. They're like, we want to go home because it's late. Yeah. But 6 o'clock. They're telling their parents, don't come pick us up. 6 o'clock, like, we want to leave early, but they don't want to go home. So it's a school, but then it's more like a family home away from home. For children who really don't get that. So that's
a great environment for you to be able to create in such a place. The population of kids that you service. Right. What is that like?
As far as how many, or the age range, or just
ethnicity.
We have a range of ethnicities. From, I want to say maybe like 7 or 8 different backgrounds, children from everywhere. So it just depends on where they're from, and the area is so multicultural too. Just where they're from, and we get that with the children. So
it's not a predominant of one particular population. It's just
it's
diverse.
It's very diverse.
That's good. Now, what about the age group?
Age group, you
go up to what grade?
We go up to 6th grade.
6th grade.
So from pre-K to 6th grade.
So you're starting that middle school area that's so challenging, right, Sister Lillian? Because that middle school is
very, very challenging.
And a lot of parents don't want them to leave. We're trying to work on just getting programs in place, like a lot of online classes, which will be, a little better, so that they can stay there, and still be able to be in that environment. Because they don't want them to, do they really have to go to public school? But, we only can service for so much. They have to grow up. So
parents don't want to hear that. The kids got to grow up. I know.
True.
In your experience, Sister Lillian, can you do a little bit of comparison for me in terms of what Sister Clara Mohammed School was many years ago to what it is right now? Has it the same? Did it change? How did the dynamics of that?
In some ways it did change, and in some ways it hasn't changed. It's still that very nurturing, loving, attentive environment that was always there. It has changed because we do, with Sister Nia, the younger generation, she has brought more technology to the school to make sure that, the children are able to adhere to what's the future is.
So we can keep up with the times,
exactly,
as you say.
To keep up with the times. Exactly. She, she does a lot of technology with the children, with computers and other things like that, and visual aids and so forth.
So they're constantly growing. They're not staying in one mode all the time. In terms of people coming and leaving, you're still keeping up with what's happening in terms of technology in the community and society at large. I guess that's very good. Sister Nia, I know it's an Islamic school, a full-time Islamic school. Now, shall I ask you, are all their parents Muslims?
No. It's not sad to say, but majority of our parents are non-Muslim. We do have maybe half, I want to say, that are Muslim, but then we do get a lot of children that are non-Muslim children. And their parents feel this, feel the same way they want. And it's just shocking to me because I'm like, oh, wow, we have to be doing something right. No, we want them to pray, because you're asking them because they have the choice, whether you want them to make salad or you want them to go to Arabic or you want them to learn recitation.
So they're doing everything.
They do
just
everything.
Like
and some of them are better than the students that are, that
More
are actually
Muslims,
they want it more
Yeah.
for some reason, and it's not sad to say, but it's like, wow, you know, you don't see that often, you know, like, oh, what, you know, I love to recite, and we have like a couple kids. I mean, that's what they love to do, and they're not Muslim. They don't get it. They don't get it at home, and when they come, they were like, oh my goodness, I want to go to the class. I want to be in the class, and
they're all excited.
And they're all excited, and they learn it so fast. It's like, wow, you know.
That is so good to hear, but unfortunately we're going to have to take a short break at this point, but we're going to come back and continue again. Please stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Subhanallah.
Tune in to Who's Who in America and in your community, hosted by Sister Nia Ghani, with extraordinary guests every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. on www.alhikmatlive.com.
ولا إله إلا الله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر والله أكبر.
Tune in for Friday Khutbah at 1:30 p.m. broadcasting live from Darul Uloom Institute, Pembroke Pines, Florida, on Al-Hikmat TV online.
जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह.
Tuning to Young Muslim Talent in America, hosted by Salma Mohammed, with talented kids from all over America, every Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. on www.alhikmatlive.com.
अल्लाह ही अल्लाह. ओ जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह.
Thinking of doing Sadaqah Jariyah for your near and dear ones? We recommend you to sponsor the Origin of True Islam brochure, the Genealogy of Prophets, or the Surahs and Zikr to be recited daily as Sadaqah Jariyah for your parents who have passed away. Or you could sponsor one of the items for yourself, fi sabilillah. For more details, contact the Al-Hikmat office at 1-800-804-0267 or 954-986-0158, or email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Welcome back to Who's Who in America. If you're now joining us, my guest today is Sister Nia Jackson, the director of the Islamic School, Sister Clara Mohammed School at Masjid Al-Ansar. We left off the program talking about the population of students and parents that she facilitates at the school, and most of our parents, interestingly enough, were not Muslim. Sister Nia, let's get back to that point where you mentioned earlier, before we went on break, that most of, about 50% approximately, are non-Muslims that attend your school. I find that's really fascinating. It means that you must be doing something right at the school to have, you know, these parents interested, especially since the 9/11 incidents, and I'm sure you've heard that so many times. What has been the reaction to these parents since then?
Well, we haven't really gotten a big reaction where they just say, okay, well, we don't want our children here.
So you haven't been shunned and said, okay, I don't want to send my kids there anymore.
Not at all. Pretty much they just, you know, they just go by our lead. If we're, you know, okay with everything that's there, then they trust us to be, you know, do what's best for their children. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much what it, you know, what it is that the trust is there, and they just let us go from there. So, if we're, you know, if we're okay, then they figure that their children.
So
are
it's
gonna
by
be okay.
choice.
It's by choice.
That by choice that they're sending, you know, their children to your school.
Yes.
So they must like the environment. They must like what you're doing. So you have a lot of support.
Yes.
Do you get more support from them rather than your Muslim parents? And I mean, you don't want to say, but sometimes.
No,
I'm
sometimes.
sure, yeah.
Sometimes it's a combination, because we do have the Muslim parents that are there. They're really good Muslim parents, and they do, you know, do a lot for the school. Like whatever, you know, we say if we need such and such, they do their best to try and get it. So, no, it's a really good combination. It works out really well.
And the children have the freedom to choose whether they want to follow the curriculum or not, the Islamic curriculum.
Well, the Islamic curriculum.
Sure that's what you implement.
Yes. They have the choice. We don't force, because we say Islam is not a forced religion.
Right.
So we don't force anything on anyone, and we, you know, ask the parents, is it okay? And the parents say yes, and we ask the students. But no, they want to be there. They want to be involved. They want to pray. They want to do everything. So we try to teach them the right, you know, the right way to pray, and the right way, you know, to just do what they need to do. And inshallah, you know, maybe they'll grow up and be Muslim one day.
Inshallah, because you know what you're doing, you're giving a lot of dawah right
Yes,
there.
yes.
You know, with those small minds, you're presenting, you know, dawah without even having to say, hey, look, we're teaching you just by the way you treat them,
Yes.
by the way you accommodate them. You're giving the dawah right there. And that's, I mean, for that, for you to be able to do that in that sort of environment, it really is a tremendous effort that you're making there. You know, mashallah, I compliment you for that. Now, tell us a little bit about some of the things that the school has been involved in the past. I know Sister Lillian can share with her experience as well as yours.
Well, I know like last year we did what was within the outer community. It was held at one of the big churches within our community, like kids from all over. They competed in a poetry contest, and we competed on the Clara Mohammed school, and I believe we had four winners. We had 4 winners. Out of the poetry contest, it was 2. There was different age groups, but it was 2 first place.
2 first place,
And 1 second place and 1 third place.
Oh, that's commendable, mashallah.
So they, you know, we try to keep them involved within our, you know, within the community, so that people know that we are there, you know.
And that's good because they're not in isolation, you know, because you know you're not just in Islamic school and everything stays within your boundaries, but you expand and you go out as well. That's good to know. Have you? What about your involvement with other Islamic schools? Have you reached out to other Islamic schools in terms of competition?
Well, we just did one with one sister, but she had the essay. It was essay maybe like a month ago, essay contest, and we did enter the kids, and one of the kids from our school did win. So, alhamdulillah. Usually we try to, you know, we wanted to do the soccer thing this year because I used to talk to brother, I think his name, about the soccer program, but we do go to, you know, they have the soccer tournament. We are involved in that. So, you know, the soccer tournaments, the different, you know, different things that they offer within the community, within the Islamic school community. So we try to get involved, but we don't have our soccer team, sports team right there. That's what we have to work on. So I'm trying to get someone who wants to volunteer if they want to come out, because we have the students, but we need someone to, you know.
We need a volunteer. So we can make a play on our program to get a volunteer out there who can teach
those
kids
children soccer, so we can have
soccer.
a team, inshallah.
So it is good to know that you're not only reaching out to the non-Muslim environment and, you know, exposing the kids to that in terms of competition and getting involved, but also as well as the Islamic environment and the other Muslim schools that we have in the area. That's good, because I know, Sister Lillian, you can share with us that Sister Clara Mohammed School was the first Islamic school in South Florida. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was. My understanding that Sister Clara Mohammed School opened in 1982, and myself, I started working there in 1985.
So you're a stalwart there at Sister Clara Mohammed School. They're not getting rid of you anytime soon. MashaAllah.
And you know, it's really rewarding to work there. It's really rewarding to be in the environment, and so many of my students who I started out with when they were very young have gone on to go to other universities and attain their degrees, and they're doing very well now. And now we have a couple of students who I taught when I first started working there. Their parents have their children at the school now. So this is like maybe the second generation that I'm teaching. So that's, you know, that's a blessing, that's rewarding from Allah, that they trust me to send their children back to the school again.
And it is so important now to build that strong foundation for our students.
It is.
I mean, especially with the way things are going in our society, and it is so challenging. I think it's more difficult being a teenager and a preteen now than it was 10 years ago.
Much so with the internet, and you know, the children have so much access to internet and things that can affect them, you know, if you're not really paying attention to what they're doing on the internet. You know, I've been really like, that's one of my pet peeves now is like, okay, even with my own grandchildren, what are you know, as a parent,
need to provide that
we can't just put them in a room and say, okay, I'm on the internet, Mom, I'm doing my homework. We have to peep in sometimes and see what they're doing on there, because it is a good tool, but at the same time, it can be something that can be harmful to our children. So we have to be very aware of what they're doing at all times.
That's good. Supervision is important, and I'm sure you also provide that at the school as well. You're constantly monitoring the students. Now, what are some of the other programs that your school is currently involved? Do you have after-school program?
We have after-school programs. The school opens at 7. Instructional time is from 8:30 to 3. After school is from 3 to 6. We do offer all state programs. So even if you can't afford to pay the fees, we do have a lot of programs in place where you can still come to a private school, an Islamic school, and it's pretty much free. So, I mean, we do have those things in place. We are governed by the state of Florida, so we do have to adhere to everything, you know, that goes on within the state of Florida. We do have what we call Title I program, and Title I provides us with a lot of like if we don't have a lot of computers, but they give us different things to help the students. And then they offer tutorial for the students in the afternoon too. So we try to put a couple, you know, a few things in place where we know that it can help the students, but since you have, you know, parents who don't really have a lot of money, that it's, you know, it's there, and that they can still be, you know, get the access to all these different things. So we're still working. We do need, you know, we do need more, but we still try to do what we can to put some things in place, because we know money is scarce. Economy
yes, especially
is,
the economy now,
it's hard. So whatever we can do, we try to do it to get, you know, so we get what we need for our children there.
So you have the before care and the aftercare program as well. So if students who, let's say, they don't attend the full-time school, can they be part of the aftercare?
After-school program, yes.
That's good. And you operate as an entity within the masjid?
Yes.
Or is it separate?
Well, no, we're within the masjid. They do go to Jummah every Friday, so you know that's part of part of the curriculum.
Part of the training.
That's part of the training. Yes. We're not, you know, we're not separate, but the masjid is still there. We, you know, kind of don't let people in maybe around prayer time, but after that, because of, you know, the students are there, so, you know, for the masjid part, but pretty much, you know, everything is, you know, it's the same.
So tell me a little bit about your curriculum. Is it an integrated curriculum where Islam runs through all the subject areas, or do you have separate, you know, Islamic studies, Arabic time? Is it integrated?
It's integrated. We try to incorporate Islam in everything we do, even though we have separate courses, you know, the Arabic is separate, you know, Islamic studies we do separate, but whatever we do as teachers, we want to incorporate that in every day. Whatever we say, how we're teaching, everything is right there.
It's the foundation.
It's the foundation. All of our teachers at our school are Muslim, so you know.
Oh, they're all Muslims.
Yeah, they're all Muslim.
Because you know, a lot of guests that we've had on the program before in the other Islamic schools, they have quite a few non-Muslim teachers getting on board.
True.
You know,
it's very true. We've had some in the past, but right now, you know,
they're all Muslim.
And you know, we have training where how we can incorporate, you know, the Islamic within the whole curriculum around and everything that we do. So that's the goal of our, you know, that's the goal of our school. We don't just want to just say, okay, well, you learn this and then we'll learn that. We just want, we just want it to be in everything that.
So you provide constant training and development for your teachers at the same time as well as your students.
Yes.
That is certainly inspiring, mashallah. Now, where do you see Sister Clara Mohammed School going? And I know you would have a vision, Sister Lillian, so I'll get to you after. Let's hear Sister Nia's vision first. Where are we going?
My vision is to see our school grow. Because we need it. I know I need it. And it's for our children, you know, and for my children, because you know, I'm not saying public school is horrible, but I really want them to be in an Islamic environment. My vision is to see the school grow at least to high school, and where the kids have some place else to go and some place to come where they feel, you know, the love and attention, and they're learning their Islam. And it's all the time, you know, not just when you're in school. It's totally different, but when if it's all day, every day, you get more out of it. So I just want, that's my vision for the school to grow, at least into 12th grade, and for, you know, we can get more students, you know, students in our school, and to just, you know, push for that. So
and I pray that vision becomes a reality, inshallah. What about you, Sister Lillian? Where do you see, because you've been, you know, with Sister Clara Mohammed School for a long time, and you've seen it grow over the years, where you want it to continue going?
Pretty much in the same direction. It would be a blessing that we could see Sister Clara Mohammed School reach 12th grade.
Now, why am I not surprised you share the same vision? Mother-daughter tag team here.
and as well as, you know, I would like to see us have a gymnasium, you know, so our children could compete, you know, and with Muslim schools as well as non-Muslim schools for the sports part of it, you know, because the children need their physical development. We get them some, but not as much as we could if we had a gymnasium or facility for
and
that.
that's a nice big dream, you know, bigger facility, fully equipped, state-of-the-art equipment and everything. But you know what? Keep dreaming, because you know dreams do come true. We have to believe, and we have to keep the faith that yes, keep that vision, and if it may not happen with you, it definitely will come along somewhere. You know, when Allah says it's time, it'll happen. But you got to keep trying. We have to keep, and that's very important for our viewers and our community to understand that we got to keep trying. We can't give up. We cannot give up. And that brings me to you, Sister Nia. How can the community assist you with this vision? How can the community get involved? Besides, I know we're looking for a soccer coach, so listen out there, viewers. How else can they get involved?
I'm just volunteering. We have open door policy. If you think you have something to offer, our doors are open. You just come in and say, Sister Nia, I think I do such and such. I'm a kind of person. Come on, you know.
Not too much red tape, because that blocks a lot of people from wanting to get involved.
Right,
you know?
not too much red tape. You know, if it benefits the school, we're open. As long as it benefits the school.
So you're looking for volunteers, whether they're students looking for community service hours,
assist, we need help with after-school program. You know, just different things. If you think you have something to offer, give me a call.
Okay, so we've put the word out there. We are looking for a soccer coach for our young kids at Sister Clara Mohammed School. So if you're interested, please contact us. The number will show up at the end of the screen. So I know we're trying to get the community involved, and I'm hoping that inshallah that our viewers will listen to your plea and assist Sister Clara Mohammed School, because you've been there from the onset of coming to South Florida. I mean, I've been here for 23 years, and I know Sister Clara Mohammed School has been here ever since. It was the first school that I visited and worked at, so I know you've been there even long before the other Islamic schools. It certainly was a pleasure having both of you here on our program today, and I hope that you will come back again and visit us, and maybe next time bring some students along.
Sure. Anytime.
Any last minute advice you want to give to our parents or to our viewers before we wrap up?
Just that Sister Clara Mohammed School is a great place to bring your child.
I like that, Sister Lillian. It's a great place to be. Okay, thank you so much, sisters. And that brings us to the end of our program for today. Please join us again for another segment of Who's Who in America and Your Community, where you meet ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu akbar, Wallahu akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu akbar, Wallahu